Hello, Title Tribe. Welcome back to TGIF. This guy is Fragile. I'm with my man George, and we're here to break down this week's most recent injury updates, at least as recent as we can get. We are recording at 5:30 p.m. on Friday evening, and we're dropping this at 7. So hopefully it's as up to date as possible. But George, how's it going, my man?
Oh, doing absolutely fantastic. It's Friday night. Had a good night of fantasy on Thursday with some of my 49ers players. I'm repping the Frankenstein shirt. Vote for Frank because I'm 3-0 and I played my card like a freaking boss this past week
Nice.
to steal victory from the jaws of defeat. So, and the guy I played it on didn't even see it coming, which made it even better. So, dude, it's been a pretty good week so far. I can't complain.
I love it. I love it. So as far as the injury front, before we get started on all of the injuries, I do want to make sure that I throw out there to remind y'all, we got some stuff for you to check out. First off, right here underneath my chin, joinrival.com/title tribe. Your first deposit of up to $200 will be matched by Rival with an additional $25 of bonus money for you to spend, just for joining that link right there. So not really sure what that was, but hey, I won like $350 last week on bingo for Rival, so it is possible, and it was actually a lot of fun. So just another way for you to enjoy fantasy football. So then down at the bottom of the screen, trophysmack.com/title tribe. That's where you're going to want to go to order. They've got belts, they've got rings, they've got so much, they've got shirts, they've got so much other stuff that you can get for your champions and for the losers in your league. They've got some toilet bowl material in there for you as well. So a
I'm
lot of
going to
fun
say
stuff.
if you're watching Toilets to Titles and you're following us and you're paying attention, there should be 11 losers in your league,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
you shouldn't be one of them.
Yeah. I had a plumber come to my house today. Actually, he was just doing a normal inspection, and I tried to hire him to do some side work, drywall and stuff like that, And he
Mhm.
showed me his bathroom, some construction he did with his own bathroom. And as he's sliding through there, I see the Colts shower curtain hanging there in the bathroom, and so one thing led to another, and he's a new subscriber. So if you're watching this tonight, man, hey, thanks for tuning in. But
Appreciate
all
you.
right, yeah, exactly. Let's get into it before I do any more house cleaning or paying the bills here. Let's go ahead and start with the quarterbacks on our list. And the most recent update I saw, Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson, the two rookie quarterbacks, are out for this week. George, do you know of any other quarterbacks that are definitely absolutely out? I think you're cutting out, man.
I don't know if he's 100% been ruled. Yeah, I think I am as well.
Yeah, all right, George, go ahead and cut out and try to hop back in. I'll take care of the quarterbacks here. So that's it for the quarterback front as far as who is absolutely out. Obviously, Kyler Murray's still on the list, but it is what it is. We have a moderate level of concern for Joe Burrow. The fantasy doctors are saying that he could potentially be out 1 to 4 weeks. It's still not definite that he's out. He's 50-50 for this week as of right now. But there is a slight chance he could be out even up to 4 weeks. But the re-injury happening is the big concern because with it being a calf, it's an injury that could highly be likely to re-injure again later. So they're going to want to play it cautious. CJ Stroud, mild shoulder sprain. No real concerns there. It looks like he's going to play. So that's really pretty much it on the quarterback front. So one other thing I will say about the quarterback with Anthony Richardson being out, their center Ryan Kelly is also out for this week. So with that being said, I would be cautious about starting Zach Moss. I know he got 20 points last week, but that's not Zach Moss. We all know that's not Zach Moss. That was kind of a fluke thing. He was playing Houston. They get the Ravens, fifth best against the run this season so far, and without the running quarterback for support and the center Ryan Kelly, I gotta say I wouldn't expect 10 or 12 points from Zach Moss, much less 20. So next up on the list are the running backs. So when it comes to running backs, the ones that we know that are definitely out, unfortunately, hate to see it. Nick Chubb, sorry. Hopefully you can somehow make it back from that being the second time that you've you've injured that exact same knee. It is season ending. This here, the doctors, the fantasy doctors, have a question mark next to career threatening. So it sounds like there are talks of it being potentially a career-ending thing. If you're in Dynasty, go ahead and try to trade him now just in case, man. Try to get something out of him. Barkley is out this week. Saquon Barkley, we already know that. They played Thursday night. And then David Montgomery is out this week. We kind of already saw that one coming ahead of time. Austin Ekeler is officially out. Boston Scott is out. Jamal Williams is out. Justice Hill is out. So with Justice Hill being out, then that just leaves Gus Edwards really for the most part as the main guy there. So he could be a really good start this week. We've got everyone else pretty much is we already kind of knew about. The other high possibilities here. I think I said Austin Ekeler and Jamal Williams both out. Cam Akers likely will not be playing this week. It's not an injury thing. I get that. But since we're talking about ins and outs, they're saying that he's likely not going to play this week. They're going to give him another week to kind of help learn the offense and get acclimated to his team, his new team with the Vikings. Let's see. Then we have see if George is back. Nope, he sure is not. So we're going to keep moving forward. Moderate levels of concern, but most likely in and playing. Jahmyr Gibbs, that's the big one. He has a left ankle sprain. It says no video to confirm the sprain, and that just means they don't really know. They can't. Usually the fantasy doctors like to watch the video to really get a much better idea of the severity of the injury. If they don't have other means of understanding how severe it is, like through MRIs or x-rays or whatever. So in this case, they don't have the video, but it looks like he's 50-50 to play. And if he does, it's a moderate level of concern. It's kind of high up there. But as of right now, he's in and very likely going to play. And if he does, with David Montgomery being out, you got to expect a lot of the other guys there. So make sure you're surfing the waiver wire for the other guys, the other running backs for the Detroit Lions that very likely could be getting some carries this week. Let's see. Isaiah Pacheco has a mild level of concern. 75% likely to play. That's a hamstring bruise. It says it's more painful than it is concerning. So he's pretty likely to play. Derrick Henry, moderate level. It says it's a toe injury, likely turf toe. He could play in week 3 if it's a grade 1. They have him listed as a 75% chance of playing. If he plays, like I said, that's grade 1. That's something that's probably going to bug him most of the season. So just something to consider moving forward. And then let's see. If they come out and say that it's a grade 2 or higher, then Derrick Henry, there's a good likelihood that he might end up being out. Trying to see who else is big here. Aaron Jones, moderate level of severity. It's a hamstring. So it says he's 50-50 for week 3, but this is Friday. Today was the first day that he actually had kind of a limited practice. And he was very limited, they said. It doesn't sound to me, according to the report, like there's a very high likelihood that he's going to play this week. So fire up your AJ Dillon, but don't expect too much from AJ Dillon either. But yeah, so that's kind of what to expect with Aaron Jones. I don't foresee him playing. If he does, you got to start him, throw him in there. But I don't see him playing. Miles Sanders, they says mild. He's very likely in. It's a pec strain. He should play week 3. Kenneth Gainwell, rib fracture or cartilage, they said is likely to be a running back by committee for week 3. So if he does end up playing running back by committee, you're going to have a whole lot of different running backs there anyway. So you're going to be splitting the workload. So no big deal. See, Boston Scott with a concussion is out. James Conner is in, mild level of concern for his calf. The calf strain likely very mild. Looked fantastic, but and no concerned. So they're 100% saying that James Conner is fine and good to go. Let's see. Tyjae Spears is a guy I was trying to think of earlier when I was talking about Derrick Henry. Guys, we've been saying it all offseason. If something happens to Derrick Henry, Tyjae Spears is an RB1. No ifs, ands, or buts. We tried to tell you before your drafts that he had some standalone value. And where are we at? Here he is. His first and second game, he's already getting carries. He's already getting catches. And that was before Derrick Henry had a turf toe issue. If this is a turf toe issue and it ends up lingering, Tyjae Spears is going to be big, guys. They said that his groin strain is likely a grade 1. He's 100% to play this week, and that's Tyjae Spears. Okay. George, where you at, homie? All right. Let's see. Wide receivers. I've got Zay Jones is listed as out. OBJ is out. Brandon Ayuk, unfortunately, was out Thursday night. Deontay Johnson is out and on short-term IR. So that's all I have for the out. Moderate concerns for injury. Turf toe for Amon-Ra St. Brown. His right turf toe, steel plate inserted, ineffective week 3, 100% by week 7. So they're saying with Amon-Ra, there's a good chance that this is a lingering issue and that he may not get over it with the plate and everything from his turf toe until maybe as late as week 7. That's very concerning if you're an Amon-Ra fan or a Lions fan, or you have Amon-Ra for fantasy purposes. So another moderate concern here is Zay Jones, which I said they've already listed him as out. Jacoby Myers, moderate. He's still in the concussion protocol. As of right now, though, it's looking like he's in, looking like he's clear. So maybe he did pass the concussion protocol. That particular column is not updated for the fantasy doctors, but they do say that he's in, even though it's reading 50-50, he'll play. So, but my guess is in or out. It says if it says he's in, then that means he's playing. So you can expect to see Jacoby Myers this weekend. Puka Nacua is in. They said that that's a mild injury risk. It was mild last week at 75%, and he played. Now they have him listed as in. They're saying he's a wide receiver 3 or flex easily. So another moderate injury concern, Jackson Smith and Jigba, wrist fracture surgery, closer to 100%, buy low. So they're saying right now is the time to buy because Jackson's about to blow up. Okay, now let me go through the rest of the mild injury list. That looks like there's a chance they could or could not miss. Devontae Adams is in. He's going to play, but it says unclear if in concussion protocol or not. But since it says in, I'm assuming they just didn't update that column. Let's see. Jalen Waddle in the concussion protocol. No, if cleared by Thursday, and they have not updated this. So do we know if Jalen Waddle is cleared to play? This is where I need you, George. So normally I would have George's help here, but I'm going to go ahead and look it up for Jalen Waddle. I know it's a big one for fantasy purposes. He's still listed as questionable as of 1 hour ago. Jalen Waddle is still listed as questionable. Waddle suffered a concussion in the team's week 2 win over the Patriots. Waddle was able to practice in a limited fashion on Friday, so that's good, which gives him the opportunity to clear the least concussion protocol by Saturday. So you're going to have to double-check your rosters tomorrow, and that's according to the MFL platform. Let's see. I'm sorry about the noise in the background. George, I miss you, buddy. Where you at? Let's see. Tyreek Hill is mild. They're giving him. I mean, he's in. Same for Mike Evans. He's in. Garrett Wilson is in. Calvin Ridley's in. DK Metcalf, they do not have in yet, but they say he's 75% likely to play. He had a rib or cartilage injury during the week 2 matchup, but he did return to the game. Let's see. Then we have
Whew.
Sorry, I had to switch over to the phone. It's kind of embarrassing, but my laptop completely froze, and now it's in the process of updating. So,
all right, no problem. I'm going to go ahead and finish rattling off these wide receivers because I'm almost done with them. So you just be ready for the tight ends.
okay.
All right, so more mild risk. It says OBJ is mild, but again, like I said, at the top of the wide receivers, he has been listed as out. Amari Cooper, mild. They're putting him at 75%. Devonta Smith, mild. They're putting him at 90%. DeAndre Hopkins is in. Brandon Cooks finally in. Let's see it. Let's see what you got, my man. George Pickens is listed as in. Let's see. Terry McLaurin in, Jerry Jeudy in, unfortunately for the Broncos. Marquise Brown is in, John Mechie is in. 50-50 is Tank Dell and Kadarius Toney. Not likely at all is Christian Watson. It says maybe week 3, but they still have him listed as 0%. Doesn't sound like they're super confident.
No, he's not playing.
Let's see. I think that's it for anybody that's actually fantasy relevant for the wide receivers, George. Let's just hit me with those tight ends.
Give you a break. Well, take a deep breath, Justin. So out is Logan Thomas. No surprise, he's got a concussion. I feel like he misses at least 3 or 4 games every single season with a concussion, with an ankle, with a knee, a hamstring, whatever it is. He honestly could be the poster guy for this show because he's always injured. So either him or Jordan Reed could be the poster children for this guy is fragile because those guys are always hurt. And I get it's a physical game, but it is what it is. Dawson Knox is most likely not going to play. He's got a back injury. There's really no details other than a back injury. He hasn't practiced the last couple of days. So if you've got Kincaid, this is probably a good opportunity to play him. And we already talked about Logan Thomas. He's got a concussion. He is not going to clear protocol in time. So he will be out as well. A couple other guys who are banged up, but we're pretty confident they're going to play. Dalton Schultz has a quad strain or a bruise, but he's expected to play. I don't know if you're expected to play him, but that is what it is. Pat Freiermuth has a chest injury. He's got some rib cartilage. He took a nasty hit last week. It was a rough hit, but they expect him to have just some rib cartilage. I don't think there's anything broken or anything like that. Darren Waller, he played last night, even though it doesn't reflect it in your box score. Travis Kelce, he's working his way back from that knee sprain, the mild hyperextension that he had. He should be better in week 3 than he was in week 2. It's also a better matchup for him. You're playing him regardless. Mark Andrews got a quad strain. Those things you need to be leery of. They are notorious for getting re-injured. So high likely that it's probably going to get injured again at some point during the season. It's just one of those muscles, they're soft tissue injuries. They strain, they pull. It just happens. But he should be better week 3 than he was in week 2. And obviously George Kittle had a groin injury. He played last night, looked fantastic. And that is it for the tight ends, Justin.
Right on. I want to remind you all, patreon.com/toilets the title. So with the Patreon, you get a lot of different things at a lot of different levels. We have everything for all budgets. But the real value, in my opinion, is that $5 level, because at the $5 level, you get the waiver wire episode sent to you every single week after Monday Night Football and before you wake up Tuesday. You'll have it in your email. So that waiver wire episode is huge. It can be a difference maker. And then our Gilded server, guys. So when I was talking to the plumber earlier, I mentioned the Gilded server. I told him there's 230 people in that Gilded server. They're all constantly talking football. We've got college football. We've got sports betting. We've got fantasy football. We've got Frankenstein talks. We've got a chat room for just about anything. And if you think of something you want a chat room for, if you're a Patreon, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get it, because we have a few channels in there that are there by the request of our Patreon. So,
Yep.
So that's
we're just here to help you.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So, George, do we have anything else?
I don't know. I missed almost the whole show.
All right. So George, are we going to be able to get a doctor on anytime soon?
I will start reaching out, see if we can get one for next weekend. Next weekend, next Friday. I'll see if I can and start booking us a couple of guests to come on and talk, give a little bit more in depth, a little bit more expertise about these actual injuries, how they affect not just the player immediately, what happened and why they can't play, but how it'll affect them when they come back as well. Because we all know, even though they come back from injury, like they're still not 100%.
Yeah, and if you guys watched this show last season, you'll know that we purposefully waited until we were like 3 or 4 weeks into it, because that's when all the different types of injuries are really starting to hit, and you need to start planning out for that middle stretch of fantasy that's going to get you into the playoffs, and you got to plan ahead for these Cooper Kupp injuries that we don't know how bad they're going to linger. But the fantasy doctors seem to know this stuff. They're pretty good at it. So, so that's why we bring them on. So make sure you're staying tuned, because if we can't get them in for week 3, I'm sure we can get one for week 4. And we'll start moving forward with that as well. But in the meantime, guys, don't forget, Sunday morning is our start sit show. It's always a fun episode. The guys let loose, and they're straight up and honest with you about your teams and your start sit dilemmas. So bring all your questions for Sunday morning.
Justin, I think now on going forward, I'll show up at the beginning of the show and at the end, and then we could keep this show under 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, there you go. We found the common denominator, the big problem here. And you're probably right, because we like to talk, because I've been trying to do this outro for 3 minutes now. So you all have a great night.
Have a good weekend.